Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We are back together with you. Drivers press conference. Let's watch it together.
Hello everybody and welcome to the final press conference of this pre-season test here in Bahrain. Delighted to be joined by Carlos Sainz, Bearman, Kimi Antoneli, Gabriel Bortoleto and Isack Hadjar. Carlos, I'll come to you first. Big day in the car yesterday, a lot of laps on the board. Heading to Australia, how ready do you feel for your first race with Williams?
Yeah, big day, but not as big as I thought or as I expected it to be, given the conditions and the rain at some points in the morning and mid-morning. But yeah, feels weird that I got a day and a half and now I need to go racing. It feels not enough, feels very little, ridiculously little, the amount of time that we get into our cars before going to a race. But yeah, as ready as I can be with a day and a half and this strange weather of Bahrain. But I guess we'll take it and see where we are.
Car feels good though, initial feels?
Initial feeling was for sure decent. I mean, you saw me going out yesterday and more or less hitting lap time straight away without many mistakes, although I think I spun once in turn one with a beautiful C4. But I think I felt comfortable, but at the same time, I wish I tried 5, 6, 7 setups more than what I'm trying. I feel like I don't know exactly where to go with setup. I don't know exactly where to go with driving, where to extract that last little bit of lap time and performance. But I guess I'll have to discover that in the first few races once you start putting plenty of soft tires in and low fuel. So let's see. I cannot tell you much more because the reality is that testing is testing and you don't know.
Great stuff. Well, I think that's a pretty honest account. Thanks, Carlos. Ollie, coming to you. It feels like it's been a few niggles here and there, but generally a productive test. How ready are you feeling for your first race?
Yes, a bit similar to Carlos. I would have liked a few more days, a few more laps, a few more tires. Definitely interrupted, first of all, with the weather, with the track conditions, which were quite variable across the 3 days. Wind was very high some days and a bit better some others. So track was always different getting on it. And yeah, a few issues. Starting off the season, we haven't managed to complete exactly what we wanted to today or yesterday, which is a shame, but that's what testing is really all about, and we're understanding step by step what the car needs. A bit sad to have missed out on the laps that I should have done this morning and yesterday afternoon, but that's part of life, and now we go to Melbourne.
Great stuff. Thanks very much, Ollie. Kimi, coming to you. It looks like it's been a smooth test for you. Do you feel like you've acclimatized pretty quickly to this new Mercedes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a pretty positive test. Everything went well with the car. Only this morning we had a slight issue with the car and I missed an hour of driving, which of course was not ideal. But overall it went pretty smooth. I think I still need to understand a little bit more about the car and especially about the tires as well, especially in the quali lap. The window where they work is pretty hard to get right. But overall, I'm quite happy. I mean, I've been doing a lot of long runs as well, and single lap, couldn't do a proper session because yesterday of the weather and today with the issue, I had to interrupt. But overall, it was a positive test, and feels weird that now next one is going to be Melbourne Race 1.
Great stuff. Thanks very much, Kimi. Gary, coming to you. You've had a few ups and downs, I think, in this test, maybe for the team. How are you feeling, and how prepared are you? Because I know you didn't have a bunch of tested, did you, leading up into this test?
Yeah, so no, I felt a good test to get used to the car and with the team, working with them. Today we had, we also lost 1 hour and a bit for some technical issues, but stuff that happens when you put a new car on track. So it's good that happens here and not in Melbourne. But honestly, I'm happy with the days we did. Positive quali runs and then race runs, to understand a bit our balance and how am I feeling with the car, what direction I should go, and just quite happy with everything we did in these 3 days.
Great stuff. Thanks very much. And Isack, thanks very much for waiting. Your testing's done and dusted. How has it gone? Do you feel like you've managed to get up to speed quite quickly?
I would say I got up to speed fairly quickly. Yeah, just able to push the limit of the car quite well. Got used to F1, but now the more difficult bit is to extract the most out of it when it matters, and especially on short runs, I feel like there's still some work to do. It's hard to get the tires in the right window as well. So yeah, and then learned a lot on really long runs. Made a whole lap race distance. My first race distance, I have to say, was really long. But yeah, learned a lot. And yeah, finally this morning, I think we had probably our best half a day. Learned a lot, tried many setups, and yeah, to be fair, I feel I'm as ready as possible for Melbourne.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Isack. Right, I'll throw it open to the floor. Questions, please.
Ian Parks, Racing News 365. Question for you, Ollie. Ollie, can you explain what happened with the bodywork to the car today? And is there any wider concern within the team going to Australia, bearing in mind it's the second incident of its type in a matter of days after what happened to Esteban at Silverstone? Thank you.
Yeah, it fell off. It's not meant to do that, but no, we had the problem before, and it's something we've been managing. So yeah, I think a bit of work will need to be done between now and Melbourne. Of course, it got in the way of our running today, and after that we had to kind of run a bit differently and lose a bit of performance today. So that's been, yeah, not the best. But for Melbourne we'll be fine. It's just these pre-season niggles trying to get a little bit more performance. Sometimes you pay the price, and we have so far.
Thanks, Ollie. Next question, please.
Luke Smith from The Athletic. A question for the four rookies, for all four of you to be stepping up from F2 at exactly the same time. Like, how nice is that to be sharing this together? How strange is it? Like, just what are your thoughts on that move?
Yeah, I'm sorry for the interrupting. I'm not going to talk long. I wanted to remind you, don't forget to like the video, comment it, and subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to follow us. And also tomorrow we will have the drivers press conference and the team principal press conference. Let's continue to watch it.
Kimi, do you want to take that first? You got the mic near you.
I mean, it feels great. I mean, Gabriel, I know him since karting, so it's nice that we've been coming up the ladder. Pretty much, we were a bit upset because when he was in junior, I was in mini, but I mean, it was nice. But then also with Ollie last year, I think we got along pretty well during the F2 season, and also with Isack in F2. So it's nice that we all got the opportunity, and it's really nice that we are all sharing the F1 track together.
Gabby?
I think Kimi said all of it. It's amazing. It's cool to see young drivers getting into Formula One now. For I think some years already that there was always one or two coming in, but finally a year that a lot of us managed to get the opportunity, and I think all of us deserved. Good results in junior series, good results in testings that we have done. So yeah, looking forward to see what we can achieve on track and the fun battles we can have as well.
Great stuff. Isack, anything to add?
No, it just shows the, I would say, we have a strong generation, obviously, and yeah, it just highlights this, and it's good to obviously raise guys I know already, so it's a bit more familiar once we get to it on track,
Great stuff. Ollie, I'm going to call you a rookie as well. I don't know if you want to answer that question.
Yeah, I'm a kind of half rookie, but no, very happy to be sharing the track with people I shared the track with last year, and it's good to know that I'm not the only one in the rookie camp. At the start, I was the only rookie for a while, and then the others got announced, which was a nice feeling. We're all going through the same experiences, new tracks for us this year, and stuff like that. So it's nice not to be alone on that side of things.
You're the trailblazer, I guess. Thanks, Ollie. Next question, please.
Nate Saunders, ESPN. Carlos, question for you. You announced as director of the GPDA, just at the back here. Announced as the director of the GPDA this week. Just what was the timeline of that in terms of you putting yourself forward, and what do you think are the most pressing issues for you in that role going to the new year? Thanks.
Yeah. Well, I more or less, during this winter, I had a bit of time to reflect on things, and just I was some days at home, and the idea popped up to my head that maybe it's my time now that I'm 30. I have 10 years of experience in F1, and I start to understand how this sport works and the combination of the drivers, FOM, and that link with the FIA, how with my experience I could potentially bring myself forward as a candidate. I had a meeting with Alex in Monaco in January. He obviously agreed and supported the idea, as at the moment we only had one driver director, that was George, and I just felt like I was ready for it and to take over the role, and my pals here seem to agree and support, so that made things even easier.
And what about the pressing issues? What do you think the most pressing issues are facing the GPDA?
We have a few. Maybe we need a different interview for that. Just for me to go through the 3 or 4 things maybe that we need to work on, and that it's going to take part of our time. Some of them are private issues that we're trying to address in a private manner. Others are more public, like you've seen the letter that we post and the support that we got from rally drivers not long ago. So it seems like we all seem to be in a similar mind frame in that sense. But I think it requires a longer interview for that.
Great stuff. Thanks, Carlos. Next question, please.
Alan Baldwin, Reuters. It's a question for Isack. You race with a French license, but you have Algerian parentage. I just wondered how important that is for you in Formula One, because it's a region that really hasn't been represented in the sport, North Africa.
Yeah, well, at least, I represent them now, I guess. Obviously, I race under the French flag. But it's a first in Formula One, and I'm proud of that. So I just do them proud. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Scott Mitchell-Mann from The Race. A question to Gabriel and Isack. In terms of the testing that you have going into the season, I don't think either of you had done much private testing at all, either last year or coming into this. 1.5 days, realistically, how much can you work through? And do you find yourself at the end of the time in the car thinking, I wish I'd been able to do this or anything in particular?
Gabby, do you want to take that one first?
Well, definitely it's not enough testing, but we need to work with that. And I've said this before in previous interviews as well. In F3 and F2, especially in F2, I haven't done any private testing before jumping to Bahrain pre-season test. So I went straight for the test, and I think it's something I got used to a bit, because obviously the private testing are very expensive things to afford. And Sauber last year, they didn't have a TPC car that we could run when, let's say, it was still legal to have do more than 1,000 kilometers per driver. And when we got the TPC car, this new rule come up that I think it's a rule that is not so good for the rookies, but it has other positives as well. But yeah, we work with that, and no complaints. Just now we take the time we need to develop, and for sure there will be a lot of it during the season.
Thank you. Isack, anything to add?
No, a bit similar to Gabriel. To be fair, I got used to that. I made my debut in Formula One in FP1. It was my first test of an F1 car in FP1 official session. So, it's something I got used to over the years since forever. So I don't feel unprepared at all. Obviously, it would be nice to have some more mileage, to go through some more scenario, but it's how it is, and I learn on the job.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Alex Canlocus, Autosport. Question to Kimi, please. You mentioned before how you're still working to understand the tyres when it comes to qualifying. I just wondered, throughout testing, how has that been allocated in terms of Mercedes getting you up to speed in that aspect, while also concentrating on race prep and things like that? Thank you.
Well, I think, for the long run, I got quite decent understanding, because I've been doing a lot of long run and being experiencing different type of approaches, also how to introduce the tire into the run. While qualifying, there's still some work to do, mainly because yesterday I was meant to do a quali sim, and then because of the weather I had only put one set, and then today I had an issue with the car, so that interrupted the program. But it's mainly because of testing. We've been trying a lot of different approaches with tires, also different kind of outlaps in order to see how the tires react and how it holds on during the lap. I think today was also a bit different because the weather was quite a bit different. Track was a chunk hotter compared to yesterday, so tires were behaving different. So definitely was a good learning, and despite we lost an hour of track time, the team also did a great job because the issue was quite big, and I think was still a good learning.
Thanks, Kimi. Next question, please.
Christian Mehnert, motorsportmagazin.com. Question for Carlos. You touched on it earlier, the C4 tire that you spun on. I think Charles spun on the C4 as well. You sounded a bit ironic. Is there anything special with the C4?
No, just it seems that for this track was just simply not working, which is strange because the C4 in the past in Bahrain could still give you 2 or 3 tenths of lap time in a quali sim, and yesterday I was kind of expecting that and hopefully go down to the 28s, but I went up to the 30s. No, or I just didn't do a lap. But the reality is that the probably is just too soft for this tarmac, and I think they've also made it a bit stiffer from what I've heard, so maybe it just doesn't have the step of grip that I expected to have.
Thanks, Carlos. Next question, please.
Dan Lawrence, Motorsport Monday and motorsportweek.com. Question to Carlos. You're the experienced driver on this couch here. I was just wondering what your assessment was of the rookie class that's come up. It seems from all of us that they're sort of adapting very quickly. I just wanted what your assessment was. Thank you.
Yeah, no, just obviously wishing them all the best, understanding a bit their frustration with testing, because even though I'm obviously no rookie, that day and a half of testing I think is frustrating for me too, but I cannot imagine even for a rookie. I understand how difficult that makes things and how tricky the start of the season it will be for some of these guys. At the same time, that if you could get that TPC car also that is relevant and that can still help a lot, but experience is experience, and you only gain that on track with a real car that you're going to drive that year. And I think F1, if I'm honest, could do a bit of an effort in trying to do a better job in how we go testing. In the end, you have a lot of teams spending infinite amount of money in simulators. You have drivers flying to the UK from the Monacos and to go to the simulator, and I don't understand why we get 3 days of testing when all that money could be invested into, 8 days of testing. I'm not asking for too much. 8-10 days where every team picks their places to test. It's nice to have a collective test. I think this should stay, but my proposal would be to have put in the budget cap the number of days, put in the budget cap the simulator also, and see where the teams want to spend their money, if it's in the sim or it's in 10 testing days. And rookies would benefit, and I think F1 teams would benefit, because even though the simulators are good, they are not as good as some of the engineers or people tend to believe they are. So I would always choose testing, and for these guys also, than going to a simulator.
Great stuff. Thanks very much, Carlos. That's all we've got time for, guys. Best of luck for the season ahead, and thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. We are at the end of the press conference. Quick reminder, don't forget to like the video, comment it, and subscribe to the channel. And also don't forget to watch also tomorrow the drivers press conference and the team principal press conference.